Okay, today we're back and we are talking about Alla Xul Elu's newest EP, the Magic Xul Bus. Now, as of now, I'm not sure if there are any physical releases, like as of recording this July 2nd, but there were talks about it being released this year at Camp Xul 4, but again, as of now, I have not seen anyone with a physical copy, so it might not have just worked out. Maybe they're still being in the works, so we don't know. So first we're going to do the full listen, and I'm going to tell you about that, and then we're going to do a track by track. So after the first full listen, it's actually a really decent EP. And I remember a lot of people saying it was going to be more of like a novelty-based EP, which I was fine with, honestly. That sounds really cool to me. With the tracks, as of listening to them, they're more of like a grab bag. Every single one has a different feel to it, and I love that. And even if it is novelty, whatever the hell, it's solid. It's a good listen. It's a good teaser to keep us waiting for the next album. I think it's going to be Gods of Evil Rise, and that's the one that's produced by Mikey Clark, and that's apparently been in the works for 2 years. It's been locked and loaded and ready, and we're just waiting for them to pull the trigger on this one. But we got this in the meantime, and I'm happy about it. And yeah, cool. So we're going to do a track by track now. First up is the title track, the Magic Xul Bus. And honestly, it's interesting because there is a beat switch up in the middle of it. And I was not expecting that at all. They don't seem like the kind of people in their music that would do a beat switch up, but they did, and they pulled it off, and it sounded solid. So that's awesome. Yeah, I really like the flow. I like how the vocals sit in the track very well. Nothing really seems like it's out of place. A personal thing for me, I would have liked the drums to be a bit louder, but they weren't a problem at the sound they were. I just tend to prefer louder drums. But awesome. Next up is Smoke Stop, which somehow reminds me of a kindergarten song. I'm guessing it kind of fits with the feel, the Magic Xul Bus. And it's the way it reminds me of that is the beat and the chorus. It sounds like kind of like an alternative to the Wheels on the Bus for some reason. I don't know why. That's just what my head went to directly. And it's funny. It's another great just smoker song, kind of like the Necronomicon series. So it's like you can't really go super far with that, but still more of like an upbeat feel to it. And I liked how the drums were a bit louder with the mixing. I tend to like that a bit more. Everything, it was just a fun song. The song up next is called Fucked Up, and it is definitely unique. This just was like a big curveball in it all. Because yeah, the Xul Bus one, that's cool. The Smoke Stop, we've heard Necronomicon. They do disco and club music on this, which threw me off way more than I could. And it's like, obviously, you know what club music sounds like and all that. With like, I think the best option that I can give of it from like someone who's done like underground rap stuff and all that kind of relates to club music, because I don't listen to club music, but I know what it sounds like. This track kind of reminds me of Young Belial, or Belial as he goes by now, newest track, All Black, and even some of Bloody Ruckus's newest tracks like Omega, and I think there's another one, I forget what the hell it is, but stuff like that, where it has like more of like a pulsating beat, kind of like a dancing beat. And honestly, they nail it down to like a T. It's surprisingly really good. Even if it is a novelty song, that's funny as hell. They could totally do a whole entire like club music disco style EP, and I think that would be hilarious. They could do it like the old 12-inch disco singles. That would be fucking amazing. I would buy it in a second. Next up is the last track. It is called Buried Alive. It takes more of a dark turn that I would expect from them, but it is still good. It has a great dark, gritty beat to it, has some nice vocal work. I love the slow piano melody especially, over this more boom bap style drums, and it's definitely a great ending to it, because then probably the next release will be something from Gods of Evil Rise. So kind of great, have a little fun, and then kind of just dip back into the darkness. Now, for the ear appeal, I will give it a solid 7, because it had great production across the board, but the problem with it for me, I don't remember ever seeing a release for this for streaming. I remember it coming up on YouTube. They, like, released, like, hey, it's going to be on YouTube. I think they said, like, streaming will be coming later, but I don't remember seeing any posts. Spotify, because that's what I use, didn't show it in the What's New category. So I kind of just glanced over this for a couple weeks, unfortunately. And another unfortunate thing, if it's something that releases, like, exclusively on YouTube, I tend to not listen to it, because for one, ads get in the way of everything. Sometimes they'll throw an ad in the middle of the song and it gets annoying and all that shit. Like they did that with Deep Purple's Child in Time, the live version. So you're listening to the amazing song, all of a sudden, ad for Petco or some dumb shit. So it's like, for a lot of that stuff, I tend to not really look at YouTube for new releases like that. That's kind of why I haven't really checked out Gmoski's 8-Bit Filth 2. It came out last year, but I haven't touched it, unfortunately, just because it's not on a streaming service. Even if then, put it on SoundCloud or something. Put it on something to where it's like you can do an instant upload. I don't think you can do that with like Spotify, Apple Music stuff, but like Bandcamp, Spotify, or Bandcamp, SoundCloud, AudioMax, stuff like that. Put it on there so that way there's an alternative, in my opinion. Overall score, I'll give it a 7.5. It's some nice work. It's just a more novelty EP. So there's not really structure to it. It's kind of just a grab bag, which is fine. But I would love to see a physical release soon if there wasn't one already, either on CD, cassette, or if they do a Record Store Day Black Friday or a Record Store Day release. I would love to see this on a 7-inch vinyl. Because it is possible Twisted has done multiple, like, EPs. They did, I think it's the I Just Want to Get High one or whatever. The one from Continuous Evolution, I think there was like 4 tracks on that. The Valentine EP was 4 tracks. So you can fit more than 2 tracks on a 7-inch. I think each side can hold up to 10 minutes. So at 13 minutes total, this can be done. And I would rather want this than like a single-sided 12-inch, because that's more space, it's going to cost more. I would rather want a 7-inch, or at the very most, if you have to, do a 10-inch. But regardless, great album release. I'm excited to see what they do next. And thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what you thought down in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.